Brena Nath, Vice President of Events and Community at HousingWire. I'm super excited to be at the ACUMA conference. The theme of the event is Making Your Mark, and I'm sitting down with Julie Bowering. She is Senior Vice President of Lending at A+ Federal Credit Union. So, just to start, first off, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
One area that I think would be useful for our audience is kind of first just getting them used to, learning who you are. Can you just lightly touch on your journey, your involvement with ACUMA to help set the foundation of our conversation?
Absolutely. So I've been in financial services for over 30 years, so I'm dating myself a little bit. But I've been proud to be part of the credit union movement since the end of 2013. So I currently serve as the Senior Vice President of Lending at A+ Federal Credit Union, as you said, in Austin, Texas. I have been engaged and a part of ACUMA since 2014.
That's amazing.
So that's when I attended my first annual conference. My chief lending officer at the time couldn't attend, so I attended in his place. Yeah. And then I went back and said, you know what, I think I should be going every year as the vice president of mortgage at the credit union I was at the time.
That wealth of knowledge in this space is a great reason why you're on that board, but also lets you speak to something that I've noticed in attending this event is how much people reference belonging and community and the power of coming together. That seems so ingrained in the credit union space. Can you kind of dive into whether it's just even coming to this event, but also that core almost value that I'm seeing, value proposition in the credit union space? Why is belonging so important?
I'll tell you what, there's so much power in being part of the credit union movement and really serving members. And when I think about all of the peers and connections I've been able to make, and friends, honestly, over the course of the last 9 years, all just really focused on what we can do to help serve members, especially when it comes to achieving home ownership or even just putting them in a better financial position when it comes to their current mortgage. And so there's so many resources and tools and just topics that are just relevant and important to us as credit union leaders, trying to do the very best that we can to help serve our members when it comes to mortgage lending.
Yep. Mortgage lending is the unique part of this conference. It's not just credit unions.
Right.
You oversee lending. Mortgage is the backbone of, I think, a lot of, you said it earlier, achieving home ownership. It's the American dream. Can you touch on why mortgage lending is still so important to have at a credit union?
I sure can. So, when members are engaged and working with a credit union, they have put trust and faith in us when it comes to their finances, whether it's their checking, savings, auto loans, personal loans, right? Why wouldn't we help them with their mortgage as well? There's so much trust and knowledge and experience that an individual needs to have in order to educate our members on the home ownership process and the financing process. So I feel like we have tremendous opportunity. I know at A+, we are excited and thrilled about our future state when it comes to providing just a robust product set and services and solutions for our members. And when I think about my peers all across the country that are here this week, they're invested in coming away with tips and best practices and tapping into the network here in order to go back and continue to find ways to grow their mortgage program and help more members. Because if we don't do it, Brena, they're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah,
and
it's such a great call out. And even though you guys have this full picture of them, what would you want the real estate agent, realtor to know about that dynamic?
Yes, so I think realtors should never be afraid or hesitant to work with a credit union. There sometimes has been a stigma in the past, like, oh, credit unions, sure, they do mortgage, but an IMB or a bank may have more knowledge and expertise when it comes to credit union. Not true. I think when I look at my peers and all of the credit unions that are, again, invested in mortgage lending, I think we have the knowledge and expertise to be able to serve our members well and build relationships with realtors. Not only are realtors important to our business and for our members, but they have the opportunity to help us bring in new members to the credit union, but also existing members as well. And one of the best kept secrets out there is many of our credit unions everyone's working together as one team in a centralized location. So typically with a larger IMB or even a bank, you may have your processors and underwriters and closers in a different city or even a different state.
Yeah.
The one thing I love about being in the credit union is the ability to foster that one team culture and environment. Everyone's invested. Everyone knows that there's a member that needs to close on that loan on time or early, honestly. And we need to make it as smooth and easy for all parties involved. So
that almost goes back to the first question I asked, which shows how even at this event, community and people are at the center. And that seems like, through what you're saying, that it goes back to the borrower. An extra element that comes into play with credit unions is the educational element. Can you kind of talk about how education also is an element that helps borrowers, helps you guys serve them?
So that's a great question. I was actually just sitting in general session this morning, and one of the panelists said, you know, it's not really about selling a mortgage to a member or to a potential client or new member. It's really about education. Honestly, we're talking, you know, the average first-time home buyer age is 38. I just heard that this morning here, right? And so when we think about that and we think about all of the things right now, challenges with home ownership from an affordability perspective, and honestly, just being able to help members navigate the home financing process. They need us right now more than ever with our knowledge and our expertise to be able to educate them and really walk with them through the journey from origination all the way through to closing and getting those keys to their new home. It's a tremendous responsibility.
One, I think through the theme of your answers, you can tell that you guys don't take it lightly. You guys are focused on, and going back to that theme of putting the person at the center. What are your final closing thoughts that you want to know to our audience? I mean, the credit union space is here. Mortgage is clearly a key element. What has you excited about not only 2026, but looking past that when it comes to ACUMA, credit union, what you're doing in this space?
I'll tell you what, Brena, the key word for me is opportunity. I talk about it all the time at A+. We have tremendous opportunity to help even more members than we currently are today with the home ownership process and journey, as well as just putting them in a better financial position overall when we think about financial wellness. And coming here to ACUMA and being able to really just spend a couple of days, again, gaining knowledge and experience, hearing awesome panelists and speakers about relevant topics that will continue to help cultivate us and push us into the future when it comes to growing market share and helping more members with mortgage lending.
That has me excited. I appreciate you unpacking so much, not in the credit union space, but what ACUMA is doing, what we can do in mortgage lending. So thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you.